Dr. Pizza, why is it so hot out? I don't know. Why is it so hot out? Well, I don't know, but we can probably figure it out. After a very scary ride, we arrived at N.O.A.A. No, not that N.O.A.A. That N.O.A.A. which stands for the National Oceanic and Atmosphere Administration. That's where we met William. He's the manager here. He's going to be helping us with our interview. So let's get started. For the viewers at home, what does this organization do?
Sure. You're at the National Weather Service office in Melbourne, which I told you was one of 122 forecast offices, just like the one that you're in here, that are spread out all across the country that forecast the weather for their individual area. Now here, the Melbourne National Weather Service office forecasts the weather for 10 counties in East Central Florida. Basically everywhere from Daytona Beach all the way down to West Palm Beach, and everywhere in between all the way over to Okeechobee and Lake County. So in Orlando, Orange County, you guys are covered by our forecast area where we issue all 7-day forecasts, all weather watch warning advisories like tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, even things during tropical season, which we're in right now, like hurricane season. If your cell phone goes off for any type of weather-related hazard message, it likely originated from your National Weather Service forecast office.
So speaking of the emergency broadcasting stuff, how does that work?
If it's weather-related, it all originates from our office here. So like I said, if it's a tornado warning, a severe thunderstorm warning, a hurricane warning, this is the origination point of all of those different types of weather warnings that get disseminated out across multiple messages. That might include NOAA weather radio, it might include the emergency alert system that makes your television go off, and it might include wireless emergency alerts, which is what makes your cell phones go off. So if it's an Android or an iPhone and you get a little message that says a tornado warning is in effect for your area, seek shelter now, that is one dissemination method of getting our warning information. And the one thing that I want to stress is that it's really important to have multiple ways to receive alert messages. So I don't care whether people get it through radio, whether through television, whether it's through the internet. The key is to have multiple ways to receive warnings, because if one of those methods goes down, you don't want to be caught in a situation where you might have a tornado or some type of severe weather impacting your location. You want to have multiple ways to ensure you get that potentially life-saving information.
The common misconception with the weather is that the weather is always 50% wrong, or whether people still get paid. Can you explain how that's false?
You know, we hear that all the time. The old saying goes, how can you be wrong so many times and still get to keep your job, right? Well, the fact is the state of the science is getting a lot better, right? Meteorologists are more right than they are wrong. But when it comes to trying to forecast Mother Nature is going to do what she's going to do, right? It's an incredibly challenging thing. Just like I like to liken it to when people try and fill out their March Madness brackets.
Yeah.
The fact is, it's very difficult to know what's going to happen into the future. And the way we forecast the weather now is we try to use mathematical equations to estimate what the atmosphere is going to do now, what it's going to do 6 hours from now, what it's going to do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days from now. So it's an incredibly difficult and time-consuming process when it comes to forecasting the weather. And the fact is, meteorologists are getting better every day because of the advancements in science, AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. So the fact is, we are better than what we say climatology, which is what the weather is on an average basis. We are better than that, and we're getting better each and every day.
So talking about AI, how does that affect you with the rise of AI and old jobs being replaced with new jobs?
Yeah, it's an interesting prospect as we continue to move into the 21st century with artificial intelligence and machine learning, because there's obviously a place for it when it comes to forecasting the weather. We're just now entering the age of AI and machine learning, and so here are some examples of us using artificial intelligence in our daily forecasts. Through an agreement with NASA Sport, so NASA up at Cape Canaveral, Sport is a consortium of different academic institutions. We are learning to better forecast water levels along our rivers and streams, including the Little Wekiva in Altamont Springs and Shingle Creek in Osceola County. We are using past events, past rainfall events and past flooding events to basically tell us what may happen in the future. So using artificial intelligence and machine learning, These machines are taking old information to try and estimate what's going to happen in the future. Some other examples include basically taking radar data, which tells us if there are showers or thunderstorms in the atmosphere, and using AI to tell us the probability of whether that thunderstorm is going to be severe, so that we can have longer lead times when it comes to those severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings. In other words, artificial intelligence and machine learning are only going to get more important as we move into the future. And I don't envision it replacing a meteorologist's job. I envision it supplementing a meteorologist's job. We will be able to use it to better forecast the weather and communicate the potential hazards to the public and residents of our area.
So upcoming hurricane season, what should the viewers be aware of? What should they prepare for?
Yeah, it's a good point, because the Atlantic hurricane season starts June 1st and goes through November 30th. But it's not until the month of August that we really start to see an increase in the number of hurricanes and tropical cyclones over the Atlantic basin. So here we are in late August. This is when we would expect the Atlantic season to get really busy. And sure enough, we're tracking several systems out there in the Caribbean Ocean. In fact, this system that you see here on the screen is a potential tropical cyclone that will be moving north in the eastern Gulf of Mexico, and it could bring some impacts to the state of Florida, but right now it is not named. By the time that people view this video, it may be named, and we'll have a little bit better idea of exactly where it's going to go. But I wouldn't be surprised to see some impacts here over the state of Florida due to this storm. If it's not this storm, we've got about a 2-month period where we really need to focus on potential tropical cyclones in the Atlantic Ocean. Statistically speaking, August, September, and the first half of October are the busiest time of year. So that's the time of year where we need people to be prepared for whatever Mother Nature has to throw at us.
So why has it been so warm this year?
Sure, one of the reasons why it's been so warm this year is because not only is the Atlantic Ocean very warm, the Gulf of Mexico is unusually warm as well. Typically, these water bodies next to the state of Florida are very warm during the summer months, right? It's supposed to be hot this time of year, but this year what we're seeing is ocean water temperatures that are well above where they should be. So that's adding a lot of moisture to the atmosphere, which is making it feel oppressively hot out there. When you walk outside and you feel that humidity hit you in the face as you walk out to start your day, it's with us throughout the entire day, right? So we're seeing heat index values, which is a combination of temperature and relative humidity, that are reaching values we've never seen before. And put it in perspective, excessive heat warnings are issued when we anticipate heat index values of greater than 113 degrees Fahrenheit. That's really warm.
Yeah.
We've never had to issue excessive heat warnings here in East Central Florida up until this year. We've had to issue that warning 4 times. So we're entering unprecedented territory when it comes to the heat this year. And if we look at the year-to-date temperatures, which is basically from January 1st through today, which we're in late August, this is the warmest period that we've ever had from January 1st through late August. So we're on record to have our warmest year to date so far. And that, again, is mainly because of those very warm ocean water temperatures that are keeping our nighttime lows well above normal and our daytime highs well above normal as well.
Well, I hope that answered all of your questions. I know I definitely learned something. I hope you did too. I'll see you next time. We would also like to give a special thanks to William in the Melbourne N.O.A.A office, who made this possible.